So today we're gonna make some kheer, more commonly called sweet rice. The ingredients I'm gonna use for that is a cup of white rice, a piece of a cinnamon stick, 3 cloves, 2 cans of condensed milk, and 2 cans of evaporated milk. Optionally, we usually put raisins or currants in it, along with sweet cherries, and we'll also gonna use some custard powder. So one of the things you want to do, especially in a West Indian or Indian household, we cook a lot of spicy food. And no matter how much you scrub your pot or put it in a dishwasher, when you're cooking milky dishes, sometimes it can get a hint of that spice. So a lot of times what we would do is just put some water in the pot and boil it for a bit, then discard that, and then you would cook your milky dish. In this case, we're cooking kheer or sweet rice. So now that we have boiled some water in the pot, I brought the water to a boil. I allowed it to boil for about 3 to 5 minutes. I emptied it and dried the pot. We're ready to start the process of cooking the sweet rice. So we're gonna turn our heat on to about medium, and we're gonna take some margarine or butter and put it in the pan, allow it to melt. Well, once this has been melted, what I like to do is put in your cinnamon and clove, and I saute it for a minute or so, allowing the heat to bring out that flavor and the spices.
I can only if it doesn't intersect with the part that he's talking, and like I need to put it.
When you guys are talking, let me know.
Okay.
So, oh yeah, put your hand up.
Now that
Just put up his hand.
After the spices have been sauteing for a minute, I add the rice, and we're using white rice for this dish. Stir that up and saute it for about 30 seconds just to ensure that it's evenly coated with the butter. Now that that has been sauteed and evenly coated, I'll add the water to cook the rice. So generally you use about 2 to 1, 2 cups of water to 1 cup of rice. I'll just add a little bit extra water. I find the evaporation, sometimes if your pot is not tightly covered, you lose a little extra water. You turn your heat up to get the water up to temperature. Now that it's coming to a boil, I will cover the pot and turn the heat down to medium-low and allow the rice to steam. So I'll just be slicing the cherries into half. You can actually cut it smaller if you like. As you can see, this rice is actually fully cooked. If we were just having a rice dish like to eat with curry or some sort of vegetable, but for this particular dish we call sweet rice or kheer, you need it at a much softer consistency. So I'll add some more water and continue to cook it. So I want the rice to be very soft, almost at the beginning stage of a porridge-like consistency. So I keep adding water as I'm cooking to get to that stage, because I don't want it to get too much water in and then it becomes too soft. So this right here, it's approaching the consistency that I would like. As you can see, the rice is starting to break up. It's more of a porridge-like consistency. This is what we're looking for. So this right here is the consistency we're looking for. Once it gets to this, we'll add our milk now.
Clean. Remember clean?
So at this point, now that the milk is in, what we're trying to do is cook this slowly so the water evaporates. And you constantly have to stir it, scraping the bottom of the pot and scraping down the sides to prevent the milk from burning. This will take a while, so be patient and you'll build some muscle. So we have been cooking this now with the milk for about 18 minutes. As you can see, some of the liquid has evaporated and it's starting to get thicker. We're going to continue cooking this down. A lot more of the liquid has to evaporate while we're constantly stirring and scraping down the sides and the bottom of the pot to prevent the milk from burning. As you can see here, most of the liquid is starting to evaporate. It's getting a much thicker consistency. So very soon I'll be adding the custard powder. What I did, I put about 2 to 2.5 tablespoons of custard powder in a cup, and I added some warm water to make a slurry. This will be added to the kheer in just a moment. So now I'll be adding the custard powder slurry that I made. This does two things. It adds a custardy flavor, and the starch in the custard powder also acts as a bit of a thickening agent and makes your sweet rice thicker as the heat gets through it. So at this point, once the heat is heated through the custard powder slurry and it thickens the sweet rice, I'll just add my fruits, the cherry and the raisins, stir it in, and we're done. I'll take this off the heat and just stir it in now, and you're ready to serve. Some people like to eat this cold, some people like it hot. I find it's good either way. However, I do prefer it a little cold, sometimes even chilled in the fridge.